Alright, hey guys, we're back today with another build, and this time it's the Akko ACR Pro Alice Plus. This is a hot swappable keyboard with north-facing RGB and, as you might have guessed from the name, an Alice layout. Starting off with the unboxing, this board comes with a great range of accessories. It has switch and keycap pullers, extra gasket socks, a coiled cable from Akko, polycarbonate plate in addition to the pre-installed aluminium one, adjustable plastic feet in addition to the pre-installed rubber ones, an Allen key to remove the case screws, and keycaps which make up a complete set with those that are already on the board. The package also includes an extra daughter board. I think this is because reviewers complained that their daughter board fell off during disassembly of the board, though it's not something I had an issue with personally while I was taking this one apart. The board has some pretty impressive per key and underglow RGB, definitely something friends remarked on whenever I was showing off the board. It comes pre-installed with Akko CS crystal switches, which have a pleasant typing sound but were a little scratchy without any lube when I first used them. I'll apologise in advance for the next few clips. The lighting in my room at the time was less than ideal and I didn't have my camera settings quite right, but stick around and you'll see I moved to a better lit location for some of the later clips. As you can see, the kit comes with a bunch of foam pre-installed, and I think it even has a layer of silicone over the PCB for additional sound dampening, so not really anything that needs to be added there. In terms of what I'll be doing for this build, I swapped out the pre-installed aluminium plate for the included polycarbonate plate. When I watched reviews online, the PC plate seemed to give a more thocky sound signature, and in my last build I used a brass plate, so I wanted to try a non-metal one this time. I stuck with the included plate mount stabilizers, but lubed the housings with Krytox 205G0 and the wires with dielectric grease. I experienced a bit of an issue with the right spacebar ticking after lubing the stabs, but I didn't want to fiddle around with the Holy mod, and I'm not really confident with wire balancing yet. I did try absolutely dousing the wires in dielectric grease after initially lubing the stabs, and that seemed to fix the issue. Overall, I should say that I had an easier time getting a sound out of these that I was happy with when compared to my experience modding the Durock V2 screw-in stabilizers on my Tofu 65 build a while ago. I decided to set aside the Akko switches for a later build and bought some Texie strawberry milk linear switches for this board. I lubed the switches with Krytox 205G0 and added 0.3mm foam films from Durock. Adding switch films is my least favourite part of this process given it's quite fiddly, but it does make a massive difference to the sound profile. With this board, the films also seemed to make the switches fit better into the PC plate when I reassembled everything. Previously there had been a bit of a gap between the top housing and plate for some switches in the corners of the keyboard. I really wish I had done a sound test with the stock switches to show you guys because I noticed a pretty significant difference in the sound profile before and after lubing. I'd say I used quite a lot of Krytox by most people's standards for these switches, but I'm happy with how smooth they feel and how socky they sound. My pro tip, and one that I should really apply myself for these builds, is not to drink an energy drink before disassembling switches, as it does tend to make your hands quite shaky during the process. Overall though, I'm thrilled with how this one turned out. The Alice layout took a little getting used to, though it was nowhere near as difficult as I had expected and is very comfortable to type on now that I've acclimatized to that layout. This is my first gasket mounted board, and that, combined with the lubed and filmed switches, makes it an absolute joy to type on. This is probably my new favourite board out of a sort of growing collection. I'll leave you all with the remaining clips and sound test at the end. I hope you enjoy the video, and thanks for watching. Vestibule.